My boy will never get nerfed. Hello, welcome back to our studio. It's time for another episode of Esports Vikings Esports Talk Show episode thing. I'm your host, Mr. T. Tim, and I have a friend in here.
Guess logically I'm Mr. J then.
Yes.
But I like the Christmas spirit in here. It's nice.
Yeah, we've transformed into Christmas era of Christmas.
There's also something I like better than Christmas.
What?
These Dota majors.
Woo! Dota Major. Yes, speaking of Dota, we had the MDL Chengdu Major played in China, in Chengdu.
Yeah, the first of the season, obviously already super important. Like, honestly, if you win one major this early on, you're pretty much guaranteed a spot to TI. Like, that's pretty much how it goes. And I would say, we talked about this last week, obviously, and we had some of the best teams missing out on this tournament. So that can be seen as a bad thing, but it's also creating quite an interesting tournament where you have other teams that step up. So maybe we should start having a look. Obviously, we looked at the group stage last week already. So,
yeah,
but we can go through it a little bit. There wasn't really any upsets, in my opinion, in the group stages. All the good teams did their job. So
yeah, I think we should face towards the playoffs now and what happened over last week, basically a weekend. So in the upper bracket, TNC dominated.
Yeah, they looked really, really good. Obviously, we'll see the bracket here. So they did lose to VG later in the upper bracket, but they looked really, really solid. And also, EG was one of those teams, but they also fell to VG Gaming. So VG Gaming, obviously, going straight to the final from the upper bracket. Can't complain at that, but I still don't think they looked as strong as the VG Gaming from last year. But a lot of teams here look a little bit shaky start of the season and everything. So
Yeah.
we also had a big upset actually in the beginning of the upper bracket where J-Storm, but we talked about this last week when they won against Liquid.
Sure.
I think that's a pretty big upset, and it didn't really help J-Storm though, because they managed to lose the 2 straight games after that. So
Yeah, so basically what you could take out of it is that, Liquid got unlucky. But
yeah, I think what we can take away from the upper bracket is too that it was pretty obvious that TNC, VG Gaming, and EG were the strongest teams there.
Yeah.
I don't think, like Liquid, obviously they lost straight away, but they also struggled a little bit in the lower bracket later on. So those 3 were clearly the best teams that were there, in my opinion.
Speaking of lower bracket, we have Aster who beat miserable Gambit.
Yeah, I put that up as a point because Gambit failed completely in the group stage, which was surprising because we talked about it last week. They had a good showing in ESL 1 Hamburg, so them bombing out of the group stage and then coming to the lower bracket and going out in the first game is pretty terrible. And it really is bad for CIS Dota in general, honestly.
There is no CIS Dota now.
Right now, it looks pretty rough, but it's still early. We'll see what these teams can achieve later down the line. But
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the first major of the season, but still, it's DPC points.
It's very
that
important.
Matter.
Yes,
So,
and obviously these results early on also usually show what's to come, at least to some degree, right? So
yeah, and a good thing to mention is that IG had a pretty good run in the lower bracket.
yeah, for sure. They obviously they won every game,
Until the lower bracket final.
Yeah, and they're losing. I mean, they won against EG, right? So that's a very strong game from them. And then they lose to TNC, but TNC looked really, really good. And I think we talked enough about IG last week, and they are looking really dangerous. I think they have definitely the potential to be the best Chinese team this season, actually. And nobody would have believed that a while ago. So that's really impressive.
Yeah. Talking about the final then. Game 1, TNC had an absolute stomp with Armel's OD.
It was never even close. It was as much of a stomp as it can be. And Armel, like you said, he just dominated the game. And, well, second game was pretty similar, actually.
Yeah, and this time we saw the ever classic Morphling Earthshaker.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more of a thing, and I think most people are very happy we have a new patch coming, actually, because it's ridiculous. Any game can be... This was a stomp through and through, but one team can dominate a game, but then you get Aghanims on Morphling and bam, it's over. You know, it doesn't matter. Like you can be 20, 30k behind, and that's what happens. So I'm pretty sure we'll see this nerfed. And speaking of, the patch should be coming any day. So
yeah. Then in game 3, VG got a comeback.
yeah, I think that was a very interesting game because I didn't really understand TNC's draft at all. First of all, they had an Alchemist, which hasn't been that popular lately, but okay, fine. But then they drafted an Ursa. When I saw it, I was like, okay, are they trying to show off and go 3-0, or is this for real? But it didn't work out very well. It was a pretty close game, but VG Gaming at least took one game there. So
yeah, and then the classic where TNC won 3-1, and in the fourth game, VG had a 30k gold lead, and then Morphling Earthshaker.
Speaking of, I still remember very well when I was watching the game, and I was like, why are they not banning it? Please just ban it away. And they don't, and they give them the combo again, and then they up 30k, you know? And I'm like, oh shit, maybe they found a way to beat it, you know? This looks great. And then bam, Aghanim.
Morphling gets Aghanim.
Yeah, it's like literally what happens. It sounds like a joke almost, but yeah, that's what happens. And I'm sure we'll see that nerfed. So, and I want to see it nerfed too. Well, maybe we'll see a nerf for your boy as well.
My boy will never get nerfed.
Which is Keeper of the Light for you who don't know.
Yeah, Keeper of the Kotl of the Light. So who did well in this tournament, in your opinion?
Well, the obvious ones are, you know, okay, they are finalists, so usually they have done well. So TNC obviously did well, and they have started the season off as good as you can ask. Like, they've been great, actually. And VG Gaming, like I said before, even though they make it to a final, honestly, I'm a little bit worried for them. Because when we see the big guns come in with Secret and, well, OG probably, and Kuroki's team and so on, I really am a little bit skeptical that they will do that well. Because I didn't think they played that well. I mean, they reached the final, and it sounds crazy to say, but I really don't think this team will do that. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be as good as last year, but probably solid. But there is a contender for the best Chinese team, and in my eyes, that's IG. Obviously, it's easy to say now when they did well, but we talked about this last week, and we were really impressed with them already. So the biggest plus in this tournament for me is IG. I think they look really good, and I think it's really interesting as well because they have these moments where they show how good they can play, and they still make a lot of mistakes. As a new team, they still make a lot of mistakes, and they still ended up, you know, going this far. So I think that's really, really good.
Yeah.
That's my biggest plus, and those three teams, obviously then top three, so it's easy to say they did well, but, you know, there's reasons for it.
Another funny thing, good thing to mention is that all the teams are from Asia that were in the top 3. So
yeah, no, definitely. I think even like Asia is doing well, but they also have a lot of interesting stuff going on. Like Aster didn't do amazingly or anything, but I still think they showed that, you know, there is a lot of potential in that team, and I really want to see Aster in their next tournament as well because I think they can improve a lot. So this might be China's year. China has been kind of, you know, having a little bit of a rough time, especially in TI, for a few years. So good comeback, I would say.
Then talking about acceptable performances in the tournament.
Yeah.
AG is looking okay.
I think so. I'm not expecting super much from this lineup, not just yet, but they showed that they are a solid team. They win against the teams they should win against. They put up a battle against everybody. You know, if the margins were on their side this time around, they could have easily ended up in a final. So obviously, it's a good result. I think so. Then we have two of my favorite teams, and I've been, you know, hyping both of them up a little bit. But Alliance and Liquid, I think both of them had a decent showing. I think Alliance looked really good actually, but then they lost 2-0 against Liquid. And in that game, I just feel like they were outdrafted completely. I think this team, the Alliance team, will do really well. I think this season they are going to be a strong contender, at least, you know, as a top 10 team or, you know, with upset potential. I think so.
Yeah. I really like Alliance. Yeah. I've always liked, you know, I was a big fan around TI3, but there's something in the team that kind of, I just like him.
Yeah, I feel like this team, when everything clicks, this is a very good team. And now, like, of course, they lost to Liquid 2-0, and I'm still saying they have bigger potential. I really believe they do. And but I still like Liquid as well. They, already in TI, I think they showed there's something there. I want to believe it, maybe a little bit too much, but I see both of these teams making it to similar placings in most of the majors, even when the
Big
top,
teams.
top dogs are involved. So
Top dogs.
I think they have a good solid ground, to stand on for now, and the potential to reach higher is there. So I think it's good for both.
Yep, but all in all, it was a great Dota 2 tournament once again, and I'm looking forward for the next one, so we see the big guns in.
Oh, for sure. And also, I can mention that we have one Esports tournament coming up in Singapore in December, and there we'll see Secret and a few other teams like Virtus Pro will be there, and so that will be quite interesting.
So Secret is there with Matu.
Yeah, with Matumba Man, so that will definitely be an interesting tournament to watch, and obviously follow up on some of these results too.
Yeah. Other Dota 2 news to mention: new patch should be around the corner, and actually, it seems like the patch is released before this video, so...
Yeah. It should be released yesterday, according to people. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That patch will bring Void Spirit and Snapfire.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something fun to look forward to.
Well, like we talked about, Morphling Earthshaker, people are tired of it. Your boy Coddle, people don't like him either, so... I'm sorry to say...
You can hate Coddle, but Coddle will stay. It's gonna get buffed. You're all gonna get slayed.
I mean, you're still gonna play it, but other people won't. So,
but I've always played Kotal, whether it's shit or not. Same thing with me and Holy Priest in World of Warcraft. I'm just too stubborn to give up.
Have you ever thought maybe this is why you're not doing that well? Okay, it's just a joke. Don't start talking about your statistics. It's fine. But anyway, new patch, obviously exciting. I kind of wanted to talk about some of the heroes that were played in this major, but it's kind of pointless since everything is gonna change. So,
well, one thing I want to add is that I have some statistics here on my thing.
No.
The most picked hero in MDL Chengdu Major.
Yeah.
Keeper of the Kotal. Kotal of the Light. Keeper of the Light.
So,
my boy.
You realize you shouldn't celebrate. This means he will get nerfed,
He only has 41% win rate, but we actually spoke about it.
Yeah.
He has a low win rate because people are picking Kotal because they see other performing well at it, but they don't know how to use the best hero in Dota properly.
Yeah.
And they fail.
That's how I would look at it. And I mean, this happens a lot when we have heroes that are, in a sense overpowered, right? They get played by everybody, and hence the win rate is not that great anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's a case of that, but we'll see. New patch, obviously exciting. Besides that, I think what's going on in the Dota world, we have the Kuroki team are, playing games on Twitter.
Yeah.
We have that. So, other than that, we can look forward to Singapore next tournament. That will be really fun.
Yeah. And a good note towards the end here is that you should subscribe to our channel and like the video and stuff. And if you're a professional Dota player and you suck at playing Keeper of the Light, you can contact me on Twitter. I'll help you out because I'm a professional Keeper of the Light owner. I kill everybody.
Okay. Oh yeah, by the way, in our Christmas specials, we should definitely do 1v1 mid Kotal. And I'll show you how it's done. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, now I remember. I had one idea. So we do the classic SF mid.
No, I don't want to play SF.
No, we do SF mid.
I've never played Shadowfiend.
Listen to me neither. That's the point. That's why it's funny.
You. Okay.
So you pick one hero, I pick one hero, and then we play the traditional SF. Best of 3. That's perfect, right? Deal.
We'll do that.
Yeah, because I already know what you're gonna pick, so at least.
You think I'm gonna pick Kotal.
Sure.
You think?
All right, we got a deal.
Yeah, we got a deal. That's it about this thing this time on this occasion. Stay tuned. Follow, do all these things. Twitter, websites, and internet. There's a lot of stuff. Come back tomorrow. There might be a new video tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, next week. But make sure you come back because we want you.
All right, perfect. See you next time.